Let's go over number 14 of the SOA sample questions for exam P. So, without further ado, let's read the question. In modeling the number of claims filed by an individual under an automobile policy during a 3-year period, an actuary makes the simplifying assumption that for all integers n greater than or equal to 0, Pn plus 1 is equal to 1 divided by 5 multiplied by Pn, where Pn represents the probability that the policyholder files n claims during the period. Under this assumption, what is the probability that a policyholder files more than one claim during the period? So in this question, you need to know geometric progression or sequence and just how it works. So the general rule of thumb is that the first thing you need to know is what is the constant, and the second thing you need to know is what is the rate. Okay, so in order to figure out what the constant is, let's kind of like think about what the let's first figure out what the rate is, and then we can figure out what the constant is. So let's just say we want to find P1, right? What is that going to equal? 1 over 5 times P0. Okay, that was easy. So now let's do P2. So what is P2? Well, that's 1 over 5 times P1. But we can substitute P1. And so that would equal 1 over 5 times 1 over 5 times P0. Okay, now let's do P3. So that'll be 1 over 5 times P2. And if we substitute for P2, it'll be 1 over 5 times 1 over 5 times 1 over 5 times P0. So you kind of get the gist of it. So from here, we can see P0 is the constant because it never changes, right? When we go from P1 to P2, from P3, we always see P0. So P0 in this case is called the constant. Now, what is called the rate is that every time we go through a new iteration, so from P1 to P2 to P3, what we do see is that this term changes by 1 divided by 5. So it's multiplied by 1 divided by 5, which is called the rate. So let's calculate what P0 is. So we know that all probabilities added together is 100%, which we're going to call 1, right? And that is equal to the sum of all probabilities n. Right, so what's that? So it's going to be probability of 1 plus probability of 2 plus probability of 3 plus 4, 5, 6 up to infinity. But we don't have time to actually calculate infinity, so we're just going to use the formula for geometric sequences, which is going to be, we have the constant, probability of 0, and that's going to be multiplied by 1 divided by 1 minus the rate, which is 1 over 5, which is then equal to probability of 0, 1 divided by 4 over 5, which is equal to 5 over 4 P0. So if we solve for P0, P0 is going to equal 4 over 5. Okay, now we have P0. So let's reread what the question is asking for us. Under this assumption, what is the probability that a policyholder files more than one claim? during a period. So more than one means 2 or greater, right? So it does not care whether or not you file no claims or one claim. It only cares about the probability of 2 or greater claims. So we're going to do, okay, so that probability is going to be 1 minus the probability of 0 minus the probability of 1. And if I'm going to write it like formulaically, I'm going to write it as probability n greater or equal to 2. Okay? So we know what the probability of 0 is. What is the probability of 1? So probability of 1 claim is going to be 1 over 5 times the probability of 0, which we know is 4 over 5. So this is going to be probability of 1 claim is going to be 4 over 25. So now we can solve our final equation, probability n greater than or equal to 2, which is going to equal 1 minus 4 over 5 minus 4 over 25, which is equal to 0.04. And that's going to be the answer. All right. So if you like this video or if you like the explanation, leave a like. If you have any questions or comments, leave a comment, and I'll catch you in the next video. All right. Thanks.